Hey guys, Corey Allen here with In the Spread, doing another tackle review. This time we're doing the Tackle Industries 10'6" telescopic, wait for it, extra mag heavy musky rod. One of the cool things I kind of got to demonstrate, even though you can't see it, is something I noticed with this rod. First off, is yes, it's telescopic. It telescopes down to about an 8'3" and change, but it telescopes out to a 10'6". It makes it easier to fit inside your rod lockers. It is one beefy son of a bitch. One of the cool things about it is I noticed whenever I first played with it is actually, I'll do it again, it wants to find center, which is kind of a cool thing. I actually talked about this with the manufacturer, and he said, yeah, I noticed it too. It's kind of weird. We didn't really try to do that, but when you're telescoping it out, sometimes I've used other telescoping rods, you kind of have to make sure you get it right. It wants to kind of, it'll want to telescope this way or that way. This one really wants to find center, and it's kind of hard to not get it on center, believe it or not. I don't know how they did that, why that is, it just is. So it's kind of a cool thing. The other cool thing about it is, this is one hell of a musky stick. This is a 10'6" rod, as stated before. It's got a full grip. Tackle Industries rods, Vexan rods, makes the kind with the little screw-in, what do they call it, the pro grip, or the thing, I don't know what it's called, I forget. I'm not a big fan of those. I'm more of a traditional guy myself. This is an incredibly balanced rod. One of the things that happens a lot of times with telescoping rods is it seems like they balance them more for the untelescoped length than the telescope. This one is incredibly well balanced. It's not a very heavy stick at all. You hardly feel it when you're throwing it. Now, I know a lot of guys are big on light rods. I'm not so much big on light. It is light. But the one thing is it's well balanced. You don't necessarily want the lightest rod. You want the best balanced rod. And this is one hell of a well balanced rod when it's telescoped out. Using premium components, best eyelets you can find. Make sure I get the total specs right. This is the 10-foot power XX heavy, mega heavy, it says, rated for 80 to 150 pound line. This says 80 pound line on it right now. And 6 to 16 ounces, which is as big as you'll want to ever throw. So don't worry about size with this thing. This is the heaviest one they make. I've got it paired with the Mega D. Look familiar? Obviously, it's not a Bulldog. It's their version of the Bulldog, which is the Mega D swim bait. It's about the same as a Bulldog as far as the construction goes, except it's got bigger wings, so it glides more out to the side. I like that a little bit more. It doesn't seem to dog ball as much either. And it's a little bit more evenly balanced. I don't think it's quite as head heavy as a Bulldog, so it has that more of a glide presentation to it, much more for a lateral presentation than a vertical one. Let's talk more about the rod, man. This rod's a medium fast tip, so you can kind of see if you can get it out there a little bit. With a full-size musky weight, it's not a totally stiff tip. It's got a little bit of load to it, but it's pretty fast. It's the medium fast tip. You got a full grip cork, so you can tuck this thing under your rod. Good for sweeps. Perfect if you're fishing these rubber presentations like this. Kind of perfect for everything, to be honest with you. I like trolling with this rod too, because it's a really good perfect act, especially if you're bottom bouncing, which I like to bottom bounce troll quite a bit. It's not so fast that it's just constantly tick, 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 but it's sensitive enough that you can feel and tell the bottom composition of the bottom that you're trolling when you're trolling it, which is a really cool thing that you don't get with softer tip rods. I know a lot of guys, when they like to troll, they troll with a lot more I don't want to say flimsy, flexible rods. I don't know why. I think it's because they like to have, they put them in the rod holders and they like more flex for when they can't get to the holder. I'm more of a fast tip guy myself when I troll. I troll a lot of rod in hand. And I do troll in rod holders too, but I'm more of a fan of that for the sensitivity factor of it. It's an incredibly sensitive rod tip too. I've had some fish already pick this up on it. One of the fish I picked up on it, I was fishing a swim bait. Fish hit it on the pause on the drop, and I could feel the fish stop the bait. That is an incredibly sensitive rod when you're throwing these larger presentations. You can feel something when it goes like this.